Yo, what up? It's Benjamin D'Souza here, the Warlord, back with another classic. And I want to speak on something about a particular thought that was brought up on the same platform by two different panelists on two different shows, and they kind of intersect with one another. And it kind of ties into a concept that I raised in a prior video that I put out called the top 5 defects of black men. And that particular thought was self-awareness and being self-aware, self-actualizing one's self. And Sister George brought this up on Gab Talk TV's panel a few days ago. And she spoke about, her view of men in the black manosphere, how they view women and whatnot. It's kind of a victim mindset and whatnot because they haven't been introspective enough to reflect on themselves and what part they played in their victimization. They weren't quite self-aware enough. It's kind of like females who complain about ain't shit niggas and how all men are dogs and whatnot. But when you scrutinize this particular woman, you'll find out that she has a foul attitude. She's a disciplinary problem. She's bad with money. She's very carnal in her thinking. She's very solipsistic and self-centered. You know what I mean? And a person with a victim mindset who lacks self-reflection would automatically project out that it's everybody else's problem without seeing that him or her part that they played in the relationship. You know what I mean? And I did have to kind of agree with Sister George when she said that, because that's very key. And I push that a lot, man. Self-awareness, man. Know thyself so you can save thyself. You feel me? Because just to use me for an example, and I've ranted about this and I've lamented about this as well. The situation that I went through with my baby mother a few years back, on my confessions of a deadbeat dad, or some of my mask off rants and whatnot. And I've shared my displeasure on how I was treated. You know what I'm saying? But upon further examination, when I looked at what I did within the relationship, I could clearly see that early on, before I really got ensnared into the trap, there were already red flags, glaring red flags that I should have took heed to, and I should have moved accordingly. Now, was she wrong for doing all the fuck shit that she did? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's also on me, and it's also my fault because I seen the red flags and I didn't move the pieces on the board accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Instead of recognizing said red flags and acting accordingly to said red flags, I just shrugged it off and gave her the benefit of the doubt. And it's like, nah, I'll let that ride. It's nothing. We'll work through it. Instead of recognizing the potential threat that was on the horizon, cutting my losses, cutting bait and running, I stuck around a little bit too long. So that was my part in that. Because there's an old saying that I live by, and it's called "Motherfuckers will do what motherfuckers allow." You cross me once, shame on you. You cross me again, shame on me. You know, the first time you fuck me over, that's your bad. That's you acting unbecoming. But the second, third, fourth, fifth time you do the same fuck shit to me, at that point in time, it's my fault. Because I didn't nip it in the bud, or I didn't deep six your ass. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you go to a kickback or something. You know, one of your homies have a kickback, you know, BYOB function. You know, you bring your own libations and whatnot. Y'all over there just eating chicken wings and drinking and playing dominoes and shit. You know, after a while, after the night gets a little bit long, your homie who gotta go to work in the morning, he gonna get the yawning and stretching like, man, I'm tired, man. You know, and it's up to you to catch the clue and be like, yeah, man, let me go ahead and shake, man. I appreciate you having me over and getting the fuck on. But instead, you want to just ignore those signs and be like, man, hey, who washing these bones? Let's play another game of bones. Now, nigga, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. You feel me? So I do have to agree with Sister George when she said that a lot of brothers are stewing and not taking a level of responsibility for their part that they played in said fuckery. You know what I'm saying? And they're just wanting to live their lives out as victims, you know. Now to the second person who was on the same channel, different panel, the brother Preem. Now Preem is a bit of a lightning rod in these spaces, you know. You either love him or you hate him. But he said something. He came on this most recent podcast that Gab put up, talking about the current climate of today's mating scene, right? And he said something similar. You know, he said he spoke about how he's a self-actualizer, and you know he bases his life off of his self-determination, you know, and how he is determined not to be the victim. You know what I'm saying? And he said something that was very profound. He said, you know, whatever happens to me, good or bad, it always works in my favor. He said, you know, some of my, I'm paraphrasing him, but he said, you know, some of my friends get kind of upset with me because I'm always saying it always works in my favor. It's always going to work in my favor. And, you know, he spoke about being a alchemist of his life, you know, molding and manifesting his world around him, you know what I mean? And I wholeheartedly agree with him, you know, as far as, because that's how I am, you know. I'm about getting shit done, man. I'm about doing shit, you know. I'm not about just sitting back and letting the environment impose its will onto me, and then I just sit there and stew and complain about the shit. No, I'm going to impose my will on the environment. That's my approach on life. You feel me? But you know, when he said, you know, it always is gonna work in my favor, it's always gonna work in my favor. There's a saying that said, and I heard DJ Drama say this on a Lloyd Banks mixtape, All or Nothing. He said, I never lose. I either win or I learn. You know what I mean? So, as far as my personal life is concerned, as far as the tactic that I use, the dating tactic that I use, the vetting dating tactic by taking a chick out to an expensive restaurant, see if she's going to be appreciative, see if she's going to comport herself in a professional, demure way, you know what I mean, and seeing if she's willing to reciprocate. If she does not show appreciation to that gesture, and she's out of pocket in the way that she carries herself and all that other stuff, it's not a big deal to me. I'm not going to take it, oh my God, she finessed me, it's the end of the world. No, I learned from that. That's a learning process, you know? Because now I have a live example of the certain telltale signs of a chick who is unappreciative and unladylike and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's either I win or I learn. You feel me? She might have thought she played me and got over on me by finessing me out of a $100 dinner or whatever. She might have taken pleasure in that, but it's no problem, you know, because I learned. I didn't just pay that dinner just to get just to show her that I'm a provider and that I'm willing to share, and that, you know, I want to, and as a tool to show interest in her. No, I did that for my very own case study research. You know what I mean? And as far as what I went through with my baby moms, you know, even though I did take some lumps, I took some L's, you feel me? But I learned a great deal. I learned a great deal. You know, I learned a lot about women, and I also learned a lot about myself, you know? And that type of experience and knowledge is invaluable. Now, is it fucked up that we have to navigate these treacherous landscape of the modern day dating scene? Hell yeah, this shit is fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Because all the energy, all the time, all the resources that is spent and that is exhausted on this whole dating shit, this whole song and dance, this death dance of the modern day dating scene, could be going towards something more productive if both parties were already enculturated to approach each other in a more efficient and productive manner. You get what I'm saying? But since we live in a culture that is a finesse culture, where everybody's trying to get over on everybody, and it's just a free-for-all, you know, a fucking Royal Rumble, and now we got to deal with this bullshit. You feel me? But yeah, though, Preem was on point with that, man. Preem was on point. And also Sister George, I do have to give her some credit. And also, Concrete Road, Sister George, if you come across this video, we need to talk. We need to talk. Y'all need to bring me on the show so we can get a triple threat match going on. But yeah, though, that's all I got, man. Get up on that.